Hello, welcome again. This is a session on analog to digital converter of STM32H7 family ADC. So please kindly subscribe to our channel. If you did not subscribe, to subscribe and press bell icon for your personal notifications for more updates. So the analog to digital converters inside the STM32 product allow the microcontroller to accept an analog value like a sensor output and converts the signal into digital domain. There are up to 20 analog inputs available across the three ADCs. The ADC module itself is a 16-bit successive approximation converter with additional oversampling hardware. Due to the noise level, only 14-bit equivalent performance is achieved. To have more than the 16-bit performance, it is necessary to use oversampling methodology. Under certain conditions, the oversampled output can have a 21-bit results. The sampling speed is 5 megasamples per second for 14-bit resolutions. Each ADC module integrates an analog watchdog. The data can be made available either through DMA movement or interrupts. This ADC is designed for low power and high performance. There are a number of triggering mechanisms and the data management can be configured to minimize the CPU workload. So let's quickly move on to the key features of this ADC available in STM32H7. So three analog digital converters are integrated inside STM32H7 product. The input channel is connected up to 20 channels capable of converting signals in either single end or a differential mode. The ADCs can convert signals in 5 megasamples per second in 14-bit. There are several functional modes which will be explained later. So there are several different triggering methods. In order to offload the CPU, the ADC has an analog watchdog for monitoring thresholds. The ADC also offers oversampling to extend the number of bits presented in the final conversion value. For power sensitive applications, the ADC offers a number of low power features. Okay, deep, power down, auto, delay, power consumption depending on speed. So here comes the block diagram. The block diagram generally of three ADCs. So have a close look at it. At the right corner, you can see three analog watchdogs. Then that is low threshold register of 26 bits and high threshold registers of 26 bits. SAR on the left, that is successive approximation, and injected data register, that is 4 x 32 bits, and regulator data registers, that is 32 bits, and address so on the left you can see injected trigger signals and GPIOs and VREF, VDDA. So low power features are deep power down mode, auto delay conversion, and power consumption depends upon the sampling time. So let's have a quick look at it. So ADC supports a deep power down mode. When the ADC is not used, it can be disconnected by a power switch to further reduce the leakage current. Auto delayed mode makes the ADC wait until the last conversion data is read before starting the next conversion. This avoids unnecessary conversions and thus reduces power consumption. The power consumption is in function of the sampling frequency. For low sampling rates, the current consumption is reduced almost proportionally. See, let's talk about some high performance features. Like the ADC supports to a 5 mega samples per second of 14-bit conversion. By using dual interleaved mode, it can be extended to 10 mega samples per second. The ADC includes the oversampling hardware, which accumulates data and then divides without CPU help. The oversampler can accommodate from 2 to 1024 times samples and write shift from 1 to 8 binary digits. The sequencer allows the user to convert up to 16 channels in any desired order. Also, each channel can have a different sampling period. The ADC offers an auto calibration mechanism for the offset and the linearity. It is recommended to run the calibration on the application if the reference voltage changes more than 10%. So this would include emerging from a reset or from a low power state where the analog voltage supply has been removed and reinstated. So let's talk about the speeds. So for 16-bit that is 8.5 cycles, and for 14-bit is 7.5 cycles, and 12 bits that is 6.5 cycles, 10 bits that is 5.5 cycles, 8 bits 4.5 cycles. The ADC needs a minimum of 1.5 clock cycles for sampling and 7.5 clock cycles for conversion for 14-bit mode. With a 50 MHz ADC clock, it can achieve 5 mega samples per second. For high speed sampling, it is possible to reduce resolution down to 8 bits, then the sampling speed can go up to 8.3 mega samples per second. You can see this here. So let's talk about some sampling times. So the following sampling times can be selected. That is 1.5 cycles, 2.5 cycles, 8.5 cycles, 16.5 cycles, 32.5 cycles, 64.5 cycles, 87.5 cycles, 810.5 cycles. If scan mode is selected, each input channel can have different sampling time. One ADC can scan the different input sources with various source impedance. Let's talk about the ADC clocks. ADC clock can be selected from AHB clock divided by 1 or 2 or 4 if a triggered event depends upon the AHB clock. The latency between the event and start of conversion is deterministic. So dedicated ADC independent and asynchronous to the system clock, that is AHB. The CPU can run slowly even if the ADC is running full. The ADC underscore KER underscore CK source can be connected from the independent PLL. So ADC performance versus the input. There are three different types of inputs. One is direct channel, and second one is fast channel and a slow channel. So the direct channel where IOs are connected to the ADC input without series switch to get faster sampling time. Fast channel where IOs are connected to the ADC input with low resistive switch to get fast sampling time. Slow channel where IOs are connected to the ADC input with standard resistive switch, slower sample. So just now we saw performance versus input type, right? So let's talk about performance versus package. So ADC performance is dependent on package type and on the number of channels working at the same time. The types of packages impacts the ADC performance. Depends on the package, voltage reference stability changed, resulting performance impact. Following order shows better ADC performance. See from top to bottom, that is TQFP208 package to BGA package. Here in this graph, we see the resolution 10, 12, 14, 16, and here are the performances in MIPS. So let's see performance versus setting. ADC speed depends on the sampling time and the conversion time. So during the sampling time, hold capacitor needs to be charged inside half LSB error voltage. So 16 bit at 3.3 volt is 1 LSB, 15 microvolts. Okay, during sampling time, input should be stable at plus or minus 25 microvolts. 12 bit, so 1 LSB, 800 microvolts. During sampling time, input should be stable at plus or minus 400 microvolts. So due to this, 16-bit requires longer sampling time than lower resolution. In some cases, to get higher sampling rate, lower clock frequency with low sampling period makes faster. For example, 16-bit mode, FADC is equal to 37 MHz, sampling period is equal to 2.5 cycle, resulting 3.35 MSPS. 16-bit mode, FADC equal to 36 MHz, sampling period equals to 1.5 cycles, resulting 3.60 MSPS. This is why it is sometimes more efficient to use a lower clock frequency with a low sampling period to get a higher sampling rate. Let's see the ADC conversion modes available, like single mode, scan mode, which converts and discontinuous mode. Here is it, different conversion modes, where you can see start CHX, stop, start CHX, single and single continuous, multi-channel continuous, repeat also. You can see a loop back to the start, and discontinuous mode, single mode which converts only one channel in single shot or continuous mode. Scan mode which converts a complete set of predefined programmed input channels in single shot or continuous mode. Discontinuous mode converts only a single channel at each trigger signal from the list of predefined programmed input channels. Let's see some hardware sampling. So programmable oversampling ratios X to X1024, programmable data shifter and truncator, left shift of 0 to 15 bits, right shift of 0 to 11 bits, up to 32-bit data width, average data rate reduction, SNR improvement, and basic filtering. So equivalent sampling frequencies are given in this table. See 32-bit data output. So ADC support hardware oversampling. They can sample by 2 to 1024 times without CPU support, which is very vital, right? We don't need to use any CPU there. The converted data is accumulated in a register, and the output can be processed by the data shifter and truncator. 16-bit data can be extended to be presented as 32-bit data register. This functionality can be used as an average function or for data rate reduction and signal to noise ratio, that is SNR improvement as well as basic filtering. Let's see three window comparators. Analog watchdog, reduce software overhead. So here you can see like SAR ADC, high threshold or low threshold, interrupt signal generator. Each of three ADCs have three window comparisons. One 26-bit analog watch can monitor one selected channel or all enabled channel. Two 26-bit analog watchdogs can monitor several selected channels. Each watchdog continuously monitors an over and or under threshold condition, then generates either an interrupt or an external signal or stops a timer. So reduce the software overhead. We can see even in terms of data transfers. Regular conversions of data is stored in 32-bit data register. Software polling, interrupts or DMA requests can be used to move data. To overrun flag is set when previously converted data is overwritten by a current data. For the analog watchdogs, it is not necessary to process each data. The overrun flag can be disabled. Injected conversions data is stored in 4 32-bit data registers. So for injected channel conversions, 4 dedicated data registers are available. So let's dig a little bit deeper about the injected conversions. ADC can accept injected triggers even if a regular conversion is running. Then insert up to 4 channels conversion. Once an injected conversion is finished, the regular conversion sequence can be resumed. The injected conversion result is stored in dedicated data registers. Flags and interrupts are available for end of conversion or end of sequence. The choices for an injected channel can be reprogrammed on the fly. Even if a regular or injected conversion is in progress, you can add a different channel to the queue so that the next injected channel can be different from the previous one. Now the next important thing is DMA, interrupts and DMA. How do they behave? So each ADC can generate 9 different interrupts. ADC ready, end of conversion, end of sequence, end of injected conversion, end of injected sequence, analog watchdog, end of sampling, data overrun, and the overflow of the injected sequence context queue. So DMA requests can be generated at each of conversion when the ADC output data is ready. Okay. Let's dig a little deeper onto the low power modes, especially deep power down mode. So these are all the modes. ADC are active in run and sleep mode. In stop mode, the ADC are not available, but the contents of their registers are kept. In standby mode, the ADCs are powered down and must be reinitialized when returning to a higher power state. There is a deep power down mode in each ADC itself, which reduces leakage by turning off an on-chip power switch. This is recommended mode whenever an ADC is not used. Note that ADC3 located in D3 domain can run while other domains are in standby mode. So regarding the performance, we will have a table. The following table shows parameters for the ADC. All values are preliminary. The E knob of 16-bit mode is saturated when less than 14 bits due to the noise level of the system. By using oversample mode, the E knob can be extended further. Take some time, look at it deeper. So DNL sampling rate, 16-bit mode, 14-bit mode and 8-bit mode. See the data. Let's see units, MSPS. Okay, DNL single end plus 3 or minus 1 LSB. INL 16-bit mode plus or minus 11.0 LSB. And considering E knob, we have 16-bit mode single end and 16-bit mode differential. So both works on 12.2 and 13.2 bits, and consumption 5 mega samples per second, that is 14-bit, 1.6 milliamps, but 50 k samples per second, 14 bits, 220 data type data at 220 microamps, sorry. So I hope you understood this, and to further understand, you can go through our future trainings on DMA, interrupts, GPIO, RCC, that is clock module, as well as DAC, digital to analog converter, timers for triggering interrupts and events, and digital filter for sigma delta modulators, that is DFSM DM. These peripherals may need specified configuration. Features for individual ADC looks like this: ADC1 master, ADC2 slave, AHP1, that is interconnect domain and internal channel. The STM32H7 embeds 3 ADCs, ADC1 and ADC2 can be configured to work together in a dual mode, so that each analog to digital conversion can be synchronized between two modules. ADC3 works as a standalone converter. I hope we have covered the most of the things available in the ADC of STM32H7. Hope you understand it. Please kindly subscribe to our channel, and thanks for your time. If you require notifications, click bell icon. Thank you.